There is a big debate among comic book artists on whether to draw digitally or traditionally. And while there are tons of advantages to drawing digitally, there is one reason to draw traditionally that outweighs pretty much everything else. Greetings everyone, welcome to the underground lair where we bring our creations to life. I'm Scott with Serkworks Art Labs. I'm a professional illustrator, designer, and mad creator. I also create comics. In fact, I have a comic book right now, Young and the Dead. It is a kids vs. zombie adventure comic. It is live on Kickstarter. If you go to youngandthedead.com, it'll take you right to that Kickstarter. But if you're not familiar with it, it's basically like Goonies meets Night of the Living Dead. Imagine all those great action adventure films starring kids of the 80s, Goonies, Monster Squad, E.T., Explorers, Stranger Things. That's a more modern take, but it does take place in the 80s. If you love that stuff, just imagine that, but with zombies. You're gonna dig it. There's tons of cool rewards up there. And if you watch these videos, if you ever got anything out of these videos and you want to give something back and get something cool in return, like a bunch of cool comics, then definitely check out the Kickstarter. It is, like I said, it is live right now. But I'm going to talk about comics, and I'm going to talk about reasons for creating comics, whether it's traditional or digitally, or the ways you go about creating comics. Because I do a little bit of both. Now, when I started this comic way back when, I did the whole thing traditionally. All, pencil, inks, all that stuff. Now it's sort of a hybrid process. The last issue, I penciled the whole thing digitally, and then I inked traditionally, and the reason for that is because I want the end look to match the rest of the books. But I guess if I was going to move forward, I would probably consider doing the whole book. If I had start from scratch, maybe I might do the whole book digitally, and because there's some advantages to that. If you work digitally, you know that sometimes it can be a lot quicker. There's you can scale things. If you get something off, you can kind of move it around, cut and paste. There's the undo that you don't really get so much. I mean, there's always, you can correct things with white paint or whatever, or gouache or whatever when you're working traditional. So there's ways to do it, but I find that digitally it moves it speeds up the process quite a bit. So there are a lot of really good advantages to working digitally. I am still a fan of traditional artwork because that's kind of what I grew up doing, and there's that tactile feel to it that there's nothing like it. You just don't get that from, drawing on glass as you do the paper and everything, and the feel, the ink and everything like that. So that's one thing. That's a little, that's more of a feeling, but there are advantages to digital. It just really does speed up the process quite a bit, and you can get more work done, and if time is money if you're doing this for a living. However, there is one thing that digital just doesn't offer, and that is, it's the original artwork. And I have some original artwork that I want to open. This is from Russ Leach, who did one of the variant covers of my books. When I hired artists to do these variant covers, I did one for each of the issues. And again, you can check them out if you go to youngandthedead.com, take you to that Kickstarter. There's some awesome variant cover artworks. But about half of the artists that I hired to do variant covers, they work digitally, which I really wanted to have the original artwork. Now, Russ does a lot of his work, like myself, he does a lot of his work digitally, but he gave me the option to do traditional, and I jumped on that. I said, if I had a choice, I want traditional, because I want to have that piece. And really, there's such a market for original artwork, especially if you happen to be on like a hot selling title or whatever, but just people want to own that artwork, and you just don't really get that with digital art. There's other ways you can work it. You can sell prints and things like that. I've seen people who, whether they're running a Patreon where they'll offer tiers where they give out their layered Photoshop files or their sell. So there's other ways to sell digital artwork. There's things like NFTs and all that stuff. But I don't know. I don't think there's still such a huge market for original artwork, and a lot of like Marvel and DC guys, they don't get paid a whole lot to do per page. I think they're way underpaid for what they do. The page rates for comics in general is just not very good. Where a lot of those people make up their money is through the sale of original artwork. So that is just a huge factor in considering doing traditional work. Now you can start traditionally, what a lot of people are doing now, and it depending on the consumer, the person looking to buy their artwork, they may not be as keen on something that, say, maybe you pencil digitally, and which I think that's what Russ did. So I don't care. To me, it's still, the ink is the final stage of the process. So the fact that the ink is there, that I can frame it and everything, that's still a big plus. I mean, I imagine, something that was traditionally penciled and inked, you may be able to sell for a little more, but nowadays you can save some time drawing your stuff digitally. That's the way I did the cover, like with this, like I said, digitally, and then I printed out, and I actually had a tier. It's gone now, but I had a tier where I sold the original artwork at a higher tier. So you can see how there's value to that. So if you are a digital artist, maybe consider, making a printout, maybe a blue line or something like that, and then inking that traditionally, and then you've got this awesome art piece to sell. That's the big thing I want to say is, even if you are digital, consider maybe printing things out, inking it. If you haven't inked traditionally, that's a skill. I think it's a skill you probably want to possess. And who knows, you may have started working digitally all this time and never done traditionally, and then give it a shot, and there's a little bit of a learning curve, but you may really enjoy it. You may really enjoy that tactile feel. But like I said, that advantage of having the original artwork, it really, I think, it's so big that I think it might outweigh all those other advantages to digital. But without any further delay, I want to open this thing. I want to check it out because I have been waiting to see this. So let's get to that. All right, I got my trusty knife here. I don't want to damage this, but I just want to cut. Let's see. This may take a little while. I may have to speed this process up. All right, so I got the top part open. Now, Russ is in the UK, so this was shipped all the way from England. So let's see. Hopefully, it looks like it's in good shape. Let me see if there's anything else in here. Oh, okay. So it's all right here. It's bubble wrapped. We've got some cardboard there, which is nice. All right, let's see this. All right. You ready, guys? Oh, man. Oh. Whoa. Hold on, okay. You see that? You're seeing it before me. I haven't even looked at it yet. I got to go over this. I'm just holding this up, but it's in a, I kind of want to take it out of here. And I don't have my glasses on, so I can't see it up close. Oh, wow. That looks great here without the sheen. Can you see that? There's nothing like what I'm seeing. I just love seeing the brush strokes. But it looks like, yeah, so he did it digitally, printed it out, inked it, and oh man, it's great. This is gonna look so great on my wall. But that's the cover, and if you want to see the full color version of it, there is a variant cover of this cover for Young and the Dead on the Kickstarter. Go to youngandthedead.com, it'll take you right to the Kickstarter. And there's some other great ones, so I want to show you this too. I've already shown this before, but I think since we're doing the Kickstarter, this is Joshua Kimball, my co-host for the Artcaster and good friend. This is his cover. Now he's doing issue 1, the variant cover issue 1. Russ is doing the newest issue, number 5. Here's Josh's. Now Josh draws super huge. I mean, this thing is, but look at that. I mean, digital is just no substitute for having something like this. It's beautiful. Look at that. I mean, having these framed side by side on my wall. I mean, oh man, yeah, I mean, you can see the difference in the size here. Look, that's how big Josh draws, but man, oh, these are great. So again, thanks to Russ, thanks to Josh for doing these amazing variant covers. Again, definitely go check out youngandthedead.com and consider, if you've always been a digital artist, maybe consider printing out some of those digital artwork and ink and practice some inking and everything. The good thing about it is you can't mess up. You can just reprint it. So that's kind of a good thing. So, take some shots, practice inking, because having these finished original pieces, it really is going to create an extra product and an extra source of income for you as an artist. So that's one of the reasons why I'm a big advocate. Even though I do digital and traditional, I'm still that finished piece, man. If I could get that traditional artwork, I'm going to go with that all the time. It is just great. So anyway, that's all I got to say today. Definitely check out youngandthedead.com. What do you guys think? Do you work digitally, traditionally, somewhere in between, some hybrid method? And if you are digital, are you considering maybe that makes sense to actually have some inked artwork that I could sell? Let me know in the comments section. I will see you guys later. That is all. Hey, thanks for watching. If you like what you saw and you want to see more, hit that subscribe button. Also, you can follow me at Serkworks on social media, and now you can support the work that I do on Patreon. Do you like making comics? Then go to Serkworks.com and pick up the Comic Maker Starter Kit. It's packed full of fonts, brushes, templates, and more. And best of all, it's totally free.